Gonna go. This is Independent Showcase, episode number 4 on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, episode number 871, I think, in the two and a bit years that we've been doing it. I'm not blowing smoke up my own arse, guys. Don't worry. Just trying to get it all in my head because I know we're getting ready for episode 1000. But as we said, Independent Showcase, and we're talking to somebody today who is one to watch for 2025. He certainly won that award at Sacrifice Pro Wrestling. That would be the man that's not a loser, or the man that is a loser. I don't know how you want to call it. It's Tig. How you doing, mate?
I mean, I'd like to think I'm not a loser, but hey, we move on. How you doing, man?
It's all good. We're all good, thank you, my friend. It's great to have you on, and just a bit of a, peeling the curtain back. Me and Tig have had lots of conversations over Ignite. Tig helps out. We're thankful for his help. We've had a lot of conversations about podcasting and stuff like that, and we'll talk a bit more about Ignite in a minute because you've had a certain run-in over there recently with someone that's pissing everybody off, so to speak, over at Ignite. But before we get into that, Tig, look, it's an Independent Showcase. It's all about you. 2024 for Tig, what was that like for you?
Where do we begin? I feel like for me, 2024 was almost kind of a year of two halves.
Mhm.
I feel like particularly the second half felt like I don't want to say like a coming out party, but kind of like it felt like it was the first wave of momentum for me,
Mhm.
particularly with like the sacrifice stuff and all that stuff that sort of came about through there. It's felt really interesting. Like it's a bit surreal, I guess is the best way to say it.
Does it feel surreal to this day? Because obviously everyone loves, you grow up, you've watched wrestling, you've loved, you see it on the TV, you're performing, doing it, and then you're doing it. Does it feel surreal that you're stepping in those ropes and getting that wrestling in front of people?
Oh, all the time, man. It still feels weird now. Like I look back at 2024, it's like I had a freaking match with RJ Singh that year. Like, like not being funny. Like he was like third training session ever was like an RJ Singh seminar that I turned up at.
Wow.
So like to get into a match with him, and that was off the back of a promo. Like that wasn't even like something that was officially announced. It was like a competition at Win Wrestling talking about, hey, he's putting out this challenge for the OTA Championship. Have a bunch of people just sort of cut promos. I cut one. I got like probably my biggest singles to this day. I don't
Wow.
really know how to really talk about it. Like,
Incredible, man. But when you're doing that, and obviously independent guys, you go around the UK and everything like that. I mean, how demanding is it? I mean, it's great obviously to get bookings. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say you shouldn't get booking and stuff, but how demanding is that on top of what you do during, say, as a shoot job, so to speak?
I think it's just kind of learning how to balance your time with everything.
Mm.
I know in my case, the way that I've been able to get opportunities hasn't always necessarily been fully from the wrestling side of it. It's
Yeah.
been through promos and stuff outside of the ring that have gotten me a lot of the things. But it's like trying to balance that on top of, I guess, prepping for matches and training consistently. Like it's a whole different ball game, I guess. I don't really know how to fully describe it. I had a really good conversation with Hossa Malone about it,
Mm.
where because he's such a well-known promo person,
Yeah.
and like he talks about like as you get more and busier, it's harder to make those promos consistently on top of everything else. And
Yeah.
that's been something I've slowly been learning.
But it's a learning curve, though, isn't it? Everything in wrestling I mean, I've always said it's a learning curve. Like if you'd said to me 3 years ago that, oh, you'd not only would you be sort of helping out with Ignite, you'd have your own championship and stuff like that. And it's like I always tell this story, and it is a very legit story that me and Ignite we didn't get necessarily we butted heads quite a bit early on because I was coming in with these like. I don't know. I wouldn't say outlandish ideas, but obviously you watch stuff on the television like WWE and AEW, and you're like, oh, if we could do that and over Ignite, it would be amazing. And he's like, it's not going to work like that. We're not going to, be able to do all this stuff. And you kind of think, why? And then when you've actually sat down and you've gone through it all and you've spoken to promoters and stuff, you go, I understand now. So I kind of understand that from my perspective, although I've never actually, well, have been in the ring. I've never done it as a profession. But for you, like, I want to go back. I know I said I wouldn't go back to when you're training, but I want to. that initial training session that you have when you take that first bump, and I know exactly the words that come out of my mouth were fuck that when I took my first bump. What was it like for you taking yours?
I think, oh, that is a great question. I think it was mostly just pain, but also like the gradual realization of, that didn't suck as much as I thought it would.
I must have landed wrong.
I don't know. I think it's just I think I've gradually realized maybe I am just a bit of a pain junkie at some points. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you take one, it's like, oh, I could probably do another one.
And then you take 10 minutes of pain during the match. So for people that say have never seen you in the ring, tell us about the character you're playing and how and what your ring style is.
I think the best way I could probably describe it is, at least where I'm at currently with it, is something that Tom Dawkins said to me. This is a funny story with it of how the thing sort of came to be. And it's that I was talking about, hey, I want to try change things up. I want to try and make this sort of new sort of character thing. And I'm talking about these things that I want to try, and it's like, I'm not quite sure if I'd really want to work for you. Jay Alexander was also in the room at the time with it. And I'm talking about, hey, look, I've got this long curly hair, I've got a bit of a scruffy beard and stuff like that. And he just cuts me off like for a second with no delay. Am I allowed? I don't know if this counts as a swear or not here or not. He just said to me, "You look like a prick who's been on a gap year." At first, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. And then one day, I just practiced cutting promos one day, and I'm in the middle of this forest, and I'm wearing just sort of a hoodie like I'm wearing now, and just a pair of shorts. I'm trying to do this like overly smiley promo that comes off a bit like narcissistic. And like I look back at the footage and I'm watching like all my facial expressions of it. It's like, oh, but he might be right here.
Get mad. Well, it's no mad, but it's good. And it's also good, obviously, cutting promos and stuff you learn about the character and bits and pieces. And going back to when you were watching wrestling a little bit, is there anyone that sort of stood out that you not say idolized, but like would always like even now, if you're going to study a match, whose match are you going to go and study?
So I feel like there's two different answers for me. I feel like there's the wrestling fan in me who was a kid, and there's the wrestler me.
Yeah.
I feel like the wrestler me really enjoys watching Kurt Angle. I
Yeah.
really enjoy, like, especially like early 2000s Kurt Angle, where he isn't fully wrestling machine, but he
Mm.
can back everything up,
Yeah.
but he's still like a little bit silly.
Not Percocet, Kurt.
Not, I don't know. I really enjoy Perk Angle. I love Perk Angle. Who
Yeah.
doesn't?
No, okay. He's still a machine, no matter what way you look at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the other one is like the childhood one, but I don't necessarily think I wrestle like them at all, and it's
Mm.
RVD. Like I
Oh, no,
really
don't.
loved like Rob Van Dam as a kid.
Mm.
Like the singlet, the cool freaking frog splash to this day is still my favorite frog splash. He just looked cool and he just seemed all relaxed, and I'm not relaxed, so he just seemed quite relatable.
This guy, I'm total opposite. He was, I think the word he uses is he was Zen. I
Yeah,
think
he was
that's
very zen.
he was. I mean, have you ever tried a split-legged moonsault?
I don't think I got the mobility for that, man.
No, to be fair, no, I would never do a split move. But Kurt Angle and RVD, two great wrestlers to. But if in terms of like a promo, one of the ones that I would, if I was doing it even now, that I'd be studying is someone like Roddy Piper.
Oh, 100%.
He is just like, you can cut a promo and you part of it is believing it, right? And sometimes you got to believe your own bullshit, I suppose.
Oh,
And,
100%.
and you've got to, or like an Eddie Kingston.
Mm,
Like he will be the one. He's like the bully, but he's got the heart of a lion, and you kind of likable him, even though you're meant to hate him,
yeah.
and that's kind of it. When you go to wrestling, though, Tig, when you go actually go and watch like an AEW or an independent show or a WWE or whatever, are you studying the matches and sort of learning bits as you go along? I'm very much. I'm in the tunnel. I need to watch what I'm doing. I'm not gonna jump up and down and cheer and boo. I'm in the zone. Are you in that, or are you a fan at this point?
It's a bit of both, to be fair. I feel like when you're in wrestling, you can't really avoid like analyzing matches and seeing
Yeah.
what you like and what you necessarily don't like. Though
Mm.
I do think the matches that really capture you, you kind of turn off that wrestling like
Yeah.
brain for a second, and then you're like that in that moment of like I'm a fan, like yeah.
In Brit Rest right now, in Brit, you've been in Brit Rest for a little bit. Who are the ones that like people need that don't get? I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that don't get a lot of recognition that they deserve. And you know, I know that. But one of the ones that you've seen, who are the ones that really people should be taking notice of right now, other than yourself, of course?
I mean, I there's so many, like even like top to bottom for British wrestling at the moment. It feels like there's so much talent.
Mm.
I can only really speak for at least people who I've been around at shows and people who I've trained with. I
Yeah.
think I've always got to put over Bart O'Connor.
Yeah.
Uh, Absolutely insane. He just got a Riot Cabaret match announced against Shah Samuels.
I know.
Really freaking happy for him. A tag team who I think are absolutely fantastic as well, who I think I personally came up with, Progressive Overload.
Yeah.
Ben Gedling, Aiden White, like they're just now a completely gelled unit as a tag team.
Mm. Yeah, exactly
Um,
that. There's a lot of people. I mean, you could list as you say. There's so many people right now in Brit Rest. And in terms of you, what are your goals and aspirations for 2025?
to be honest with you, I don't usually like to set
Mm.
big goals for like wrestling years. Maybe it's just
Yeah.
because last year felt so unpredictable. It's like,
Mm.
is it worth making big predictions on what I'm gonna do? I feel like, I guess for me, it's just take it like a day at a time. I think I put out a list of like things that weren't necessarily like matches, but like
Yeah.
stuff that happened. Like, I'd love to at some point do some stuff with Ignite,
Mhm.
especially. I think that would be really cool, especially considering Truman attacked me at a raffle. I think
Yeah.
at some point that would be really cool. Love to visit places like United.
Mhm.
They run a really lovely promotion over there. Uh, Aside from that, I think it's just the general stuff of like just keep working on in ring, keep working on promos, just do what I can really. I think work on the things I can control.
Yeah. And not worry about things that you can't.
Yeah.
In terms of Ignite, we'll get to Truman in a minute. Obviously, you know that you can talk about it bluntly. For me, you know, I don't necessarily. It's not me. It's Chris and stuff like that. I have the championship there, of course, and we love that. But what is it especially about Ignite that makes you want to work down there?
I think it's just the variety of talent, particularly in like the London area and how many people who get brought in and the newcomers coming in. Like you were talking about the breakout division happening and that being advertised as a thing, which I love the concept of breakout division as
Hmm.
being like this thing where you bring in a bunch of guys who you've never really seen before and see what they can do.
Yeah,
Like, I enjoy the fact that like stuff like you guys do with hitting the turnbuckle, like bringing in all these other names to take on, other consistent people. It's just it's a nice promotion where there's a lot of variety coming in and stuff where like I mean, as it's happened before, you never know who's going to be turning up on like some of the big shows now, like your Rev Pros, your Progress, or even just sticking around there. Like it feels like a hotbed for up and coming talent.
yeah. I mean, it is now. If you look at, I think there was a Rev Pro show a couple of weeks ago in Southampton, which was like an Ignite card. I mean, there
Oh
was
yeah.
the Bryants were there, Taylor James was there, CPF were all there, and it just felt like it was like you should have been at Shenley Road, or you know, I should have been going down there with the Turnbuckle Championship, but we're not. Obviously, it was a Rev Pro, but it goes to show you how people have honed their skills at a place like Ignite and are going on. I mean, obviously, look, the Bryants go out there, they're everywhere else as well. We're not give Ignite their flowers, give everyone else their flowers, but they go and do that to hone their skills there, and then they get that call up which they want. But it just goes to show you that if you're there and you work it, the opportunity could become available to you, which is pretty much right. Rich is right, right?
Yeah, man.
That's what you got to do. It's certainly what you got to do. But we have to talk about yes, Mr. Truman Roswell. So for those people that don't know, Tig, as he mentioned, he was kindly helping out at Ignite as you do quite often. We often see you there doing stuff. A lot of it is what you don't see: ring setup, chair setup, all of that sort of stuff. But you wanted to help out on the raffle, as you know, the raffle is very popular with certain people, especially if your name's Gray Ignite, and you did that, and you was attacked by Truman Roswell, who wanted to make a bit like yourself. You want to make a name for yourself. Well, he showed up and he attacked your good self. Coming up this coming February, he's going to be calling out CJ Carter. I have no idea what the hell that's going to be, but for you, that gave you a bit of a taster of what it's like at Ignite, a bit of unpredictability, a bit of variety, as you say. But you've got to want a bit of revenge on Mr. Roswell, right?
Oh, absolutely. I can't look at raffles the same way since now. I I don't think Skip even trusts me with raffles anymore now. I just come in, I try and just help out and don't get me wrong, I'm very nervous. I'm in front of a crowd of people. I accidentally drop a couple raffle tickets here and there. Nothing really revealed, but nothing big. He just comes in and wallets me from behind.
Yeah,
What? Why? Like,
it's
like,
Truman. That's why.
does he have a conspiracy against raffles, or is it does he just not
Yeah,
like me?
no, I think it's the conspiracy against Raffles knowing Truman.
Conspiracy against raffles, Ignite. I hope CJ does something about it. At least, at this rate, he's gonna have a lumberjack match where it's gonna be every member of the ring crew he's ever had to deal with.
You, Leland, Brian, who's now going to be a part of the breakout. Yeah, and everybody else. Me, you might as well just throw me in there for the sake of it. I wouldn't want to be. Yes, but you are right. He is going to call CJ Carter out. I do. Well, CJ's not going to wrestle, so I don't know why he's going to call out CJ. But look, Tig, we're going to start wrapping up as we do on these independent showcases. Look, 2025. What are the dates you've got at the moment? Where can people find you on socials, and how can people book you for your shows?
Okay, so at the moment, the only match that's really advertised for me at the moment is the 7th of February, Sacrifice Pro Wrestling. I will be losing my Loserweight Championship to Bart O'Connor, and I can finally, live my life much more happily with it. Uh, it's not been announced yet, but I will be at Win Wrestling on the 2nd of February. Nothing
Great.
confirmed yet.
Mhm.
And I should have some more appearances lined up as the months go on. If you'd like to get in contact with me, just find me on Instagram or X at TIG_PW. DMs are open. That's the way that if you'd like to contact me.
Slide into Tig's DMs is the way. Now, before we go with these, this is what I'm gonna do with a lot of the wrestlers. We're gonna do 5 random wrestling questions. I bring this back. It was something that I used to do when the podcast first started. I want to bring it back, and you're gonna be the guinea pig again, Tig. So no pressure.
Okay.
Truman isn't behind you. Don't
Uh,
worry.
uh, all right.
We're not
Yep.
doing
Had to
we're not
check.
we're not doing any raffles. Look, okay. So first question, first random wrestling question. If you could debut any pay-per-view in wrestling, where would it be and why?
Tell you what, I really love Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday.
Fuck yeah.
I love that.
Of all pay-per-views, I mean, you didn't say December to Dismember, but I
No, but
mean,
what? What's wrong with Cyber Sunday or Taboo Tuesday?
it was just not the answer I was
What were
expecting.
you thinking?
Rumble or Mania or Money in the Bank or something like that.
No, but it's I like the random unexpected element of it. A Rumble, you're gonna get surprises. Do you
Yeah,
expect
yeah, yeah.
that on a Cyber Sunday or a Taboo Tuesday? No, you expect the fan vote and nothing else. This is
Oh man,
this is the surprises we're looking for.
that is unbelievable. That is absolutely for the first time on this podcast. I think I'm speechless.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Actually, what a great that will never come up again. I guarantee you that is such
Exactly.
a great answer. Brilliant
This is
answer. Fucking absolutely outstanding. Right. Anyway, favorite wrestling theme music.
oh, that's tough. Do I you've stumped me here because there's a lot of answers.
I always say it depends on my mood.
Yeah, always depends on the mood.
You
Tell
can
you
have a
what,
few.
I'll give you three that's popped into my
Yep.
head.
Perfect.
Kenny Omega Battle Cry.
Interesting. Yep.
I love that theme. Uh, RVD's WWE theme.
Oh, one of a kind. Yeah.
One of a kind, absolutely. Uh, Slow Chemical, Kane.
Oh, mate, slow chem. The
Yes.
amount of times that nearly makes me shit myself in the ring because of the pyro, right?
Yeah.
Crazy, but brilliant. I love those three. I think those three are great.
Yeah, man.
Uh, the three I'm going to go for today, and it changes daily. I'm going to go for Metalingus for Edge, or Cope, or
Oh, great shout.
whatever you want to call him now. I don't know what he's called anymore. Cope, I think, was the. Do you know what? A song that I really like, and it's actually on the British. I don't know if he actually uses it anymore. But RKJ's.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
I love that. It's one of my favorite songs. I was going to say another Brit Rest one, but I'm not. I'm going to go today, just for today, Osprey's Elevation.
Yeah, good shout.
I could have had the game, Wolfpack. Yeah, there's so, as you say, there is so many songs. Or
Mm,
Leon Slater's another one that's got great. If you like that sort of thing, he's got a great song. Or just do a
yeah.
Dries and sing yourself out. That seems to get over pretty quickly. If you can have a triple threat match with any three wrestlers from any company, who would they be and why?
Any free wrestlers? Okay.
Any company. I'll tell you what, one Brit Rest, one AEW or TNA, one WWE.
Okay. Brit Rest, if I'm going for right now, just because I'm very curious how we'd interact, Charles Crowley.
Yeah,
Uh, in terms of AEW, I'll go Hangman Page.
interesting. You look like him a little bit with the hair and
Yeah, it's the scruffiness. WWE. Ah, Sami Zayn.
Is that because you look like him again?
No, I love babyface Sami Zayn. I love the energy. I love the passion. Who doesn't love Sami?
Fine, I like yeah, that. Yeah, definitely. You said Cyber Sunday was the pay-per-view you'd like to debut at. Is that your favorite pay-per-view, or do you have another one?
Oh, favorite pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Probably go Royal Rumble.
Yay! Right, yes, I agree.
I vindication.
Vindicated now. So this is the one that we're asking all of our interviews. So you're going to join a list of the recent ones. I'm going to Austin Aries, Shelly Martinez, Jimmy Corderas. Actually, no, I didn't ask Jimmy Corderas this. Shit, should have done. After getting back on. A prediction for who could be a surprise entrant in this year's Royal Rumble.
Ooh, okay. Oh God, I'm not really up to date on what the wild card predictions would
Don't
be.
worry, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be what's out there. It's what you want, who you think.
Who could be a surprise entrant? That would be really cool. Oh, if I knew where it was based, my thought process would be like someone who'd
What?
be relatively local.
Where the Royal Rumble is going to be?
Yeah.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Ah, oh, I'm just gonna throw a wild card in there. Chavo Guerrero,
There you
because
go.
that would like Chavo Guerrero, Dominic Mysterio in the same Rumble,
Yeah, yeah, in Bray.
dueling three amigos.
Yeah. No, I dig that. And again, it's another one that I mean Austin Aries chose himself. So
Yeah.
there we go. That's an interesting one. And finally, three Brit Rest guys. No, actually, no, I'm not going to choose three Brit Rest guys. You're gonna have a round table dinner. Again, choose any Brit Rest from any era, any wrestler from WWE in any era, any wrestler from AEW from 2019 onwards, and any wrestler from TNA original. Who are you going to have?
Oh, okay. Good question.
Could be a personality, doesn't have to be a wrestler, could be manager, commentator.
Okay. Yeah, I I'd really like a conversation with Taz, weirdly enough. I think
Okay, so
he's I think he's a super underrated commentator.
so there you go. There's your AEW pick. Brit
I
Rest.
I Brit Rest. Who would be a great choice for the roundtable for Brit Rest? You know what? One of the very first Brit Rest guys who I really sort of connected with when I first started watching was Mark Haskins.
There you go. Haskins. He can't bring his wife though. It has to be just Mark, unfortunately,
Oh,
because
that's fine.
it'd just be another one. Otherwise it'd be you haven't got enough room at the table. Then you've got your TNA. So yeah, it could be, who depends who it is. Yeah, from TNA.
TNA. Josh Alexander.
Yeah, he soon won't be TNA, but yeah, TNA. He's
Yeah, for
TNA
now he's
at the
TNA.
moment. He is TNA right now, and finally WWE.
Trying to think who'd be really good for WWE. Just because I just want to hear the comments of how he would react to the entire situation. I'm gonna go Kevin Owens.
Interesting. Kevin
He
Owens is great.
he's the type of person who I think would have a really good like reaction or comment to whatever situation would sort of happen.
Definitely. I agree with that. Last question, and then we're going to wrap up. You said who your best entrance music is. What is your best wrestling entrance in wrestling? Who's got the best entrance in wrestling? Or who had the best entrance in wrestling?
Best entrance in wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this is fresh off of seeing like All In back in the summer, but Final Countdown, Bryan Danielson,
Danielson.
that
But
that Wembley Arena entrance.
the funny
Oh,
thing is, I'm about to listen to Final Countdown in about an hour and a half's time, but that's my football team coming out of the tunnel. They actually come out to the Final Countdown. That's a great one. I mean, yeah, the president. I mean, I was talking to Jimmy Corderas just before we come on air, and he said that being in the ring and hearing the gong of the Undertaker and that whole presentation of smoke, fire, flames, thunder, lightning, and have that 6'8" behemoth walking to the ring. He says sometimes you get lost in the moment.
yeah,
I could feel that. I
yeah.
could. Yeah. It's just he's been in the ring, and it's happened. We're never going
Mm,
to be in the ring with that guy coming. Well, he's never going to be the Undertaker ever again, anyway. So we're never going to be fortunate enough to be in the ring. But just to being there would be amazing. But I know I can see the final countdown definitely, and I was there. I managed to get all in this year, so yeah, that was definitely a moment for sure in
mm.
wrestling. But Tig, it's been great. Independent Showcase episode 4 is in the book with that man, Tig. If you want to book him, like he said, get into him. He's one to watch in 2025, according to Sacrifice Pro Wrestling, and maybe in 2026 he'll be back on the show. It won't be an independent showcase. He may be an independent, more of an independent champion in a lot of ways, not the loserweight champion that you are now. But it's been great talking to you, T. Good luck in 2025. I hope to see you at Ignite at some point in the future. But guys, coming up on the channel very, very soon, sorry, we've got Shelly Martinez, we've got her Hollywood, Haley J, and the Independent Showcase will continue with Adam Bolt. He'll be coming on next week. But Tig, thank you for your time. And until then, everybody, he has been Independent Star Tig. I have been your host, Adam Cousins, and you have been watching the Here in the Turnbuckle Podcast Independent Showcase. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.